That is the plight of teachers and principals at the hands of angry parents. I want to welcome to the program Malcolm Elliot, who's the president of the Australian Primary Principals Association. Thanks for joining us, Malcolm. This is a growing problem, not just threats and angry responses from parents, but physical violence. And in Victoria, at least, there's new laws coming to try and protect teachers and keep schools safe.
Yes, thanks very much, Chris. And unfortunately, we had hoped that the longitudinal study, the one that comes out every year, the occupational health and safety study into principal health and wellbeing, would show that there was some upside to this big challenge that we're facing. But unfortunately, the data said otherwise, despite the very best efforts by governments, school boards, directorates, you name it. Everyone's working very hard on this issue, but nevertheless, these problems still continue.
Now, the legislation, as I understand it, would give principals the power to red card a parent. That is, effectively, if a parent was creating problems, ban them from the school grounds for up to 2 weeks. Then, if they breach that ban, police get involved.
Yes, that's right. Not only does it affect the behaviour on the school grounds, it also addresses the vexatious issue of social media. So this is something that pervades our society as well. So the sort of abuse that people level behind a keyboard, the so-called keyboard warriors, is something that's also having a deep effect. If I might say so, one of the saddest things that I remember from my own career in teaching was when a young staff member came to me one day with tears in her eyes saying, "Have you seen what they've written about you on Facebook?" And she was so visibly upset about what other people had written about her school principal. It was just the saddest thing, and a fine young teacher.
It's such a difficult job, teaching, such an important job, and you would have thought that teachers get nothing but respect and support from parents rather than that sort of behaviour.
Well, we were very heartened, Chris, by the response during the COVID lockdowns, and everyone saw how hard principals and teachers worked, and teacher assistants. Everyone, there was just a big upswing there in confidence in the teaching profession. That's fabulous. And the vast majority of parents are wonderful to work with, but unfortunately that's not universal. And we've got this problem that this legislation addresses, and it's really what it's doing is sending a very, very strong and direct signal: this must stop. It just can't go on. It doesn't have to be like this. If you want to raise an issue, then you can do it through appropriate means, or get somebody else to do it for you if you think you're going to lose control of yourself. But the behaviours that people are exhibiting are well and truly beyond the pale, and they go far beyond someone making criticism of someone like me on Facebook. There are much worse examples that we could tell, and look, the members of the general public would be shocked if they were ever witness to or party to being on the receiving end of this sort of thing.
Good on you, Malcolm, and all power to you. Thanks for joining us.
And thank you, Chris, for your interest. It's so important that we get these messages out into the general public. Thank you so much.
Good stuff. Malcolm Elliot there, who's with the president. He's the president of the Australian Primary Principals Association. Imagine running a school and then having to deal with that sort of abuse.